My beloved brothers and sisters, every one of us has lived moments where we planned, we hoped, we dreamed, and suddenly everything fell apart. You thought something was perfect for you, yet it slipped away. You were certain that a door would open, yet it closed right in front of you. And in those moments of confusion, the heart whispers, why? But this is exactly where faith begins. Because in Islam, failure is not the end. It is often the start of Allah's redirection. When your plans fail, Allah's compass begins to guide you. And that compass never points in the wrong direction. We only feel lost because we were following our own map, not the one written by the one who knows the past, the present, and everything that lies ahead. Sometimes Allah takes something away not to punish you, but to purify your heart. Sometimes He delays something not to disappoint you, but to protect you. Sometimes He closes a door, not because your dream is wrong, but because your destination is somewhere far better. Think of how many times in your life something didn't work out, and you later said, Alhamdulillah, it was good that it didn't. At that moment, you didn't understand. But Allah already knew. This is why a believer learns to say, if not this, then something better. If not now, then at the perfect time. Our lives are full of events that seem chaotic to us, but are perfectly organized by Allah. A failure in your career might be the beginning of a path that leads you to a blessing you never imagined. A heartbreak might be the shield that protects you from someone who was not written for your peace. A setback might be the training that prepares you for a success greater than what you asked for. Brothers and sisters, the real question is not, why did this happen? The real question is, what is Allah preparing me for? Because Allah never breaks a heart that turns to Him. He rebuilds it, strengthens it, and fills it with wisdom that only hardship can teach. When plans fail, remember this: Allah is not silent. He is guiding, He is redirecting. He is rearranging your life so that you grow, mature, and rise in ways that would never be possible if everything went according to your plans. Take inspiration from those before us. Every prophet experienced failure in the eyes of the world, but success in the sight of Allah. They were rejected, pushed away, opposed. Yet each step of their struggle was perfectly designed by Allah to elevate them. Your life is no different. Your challenges are part of your elevation. Your delays are part of your preparation. Your closed doors are part of your protection, so the next time your plan collapses, don't fall apart. Don't think your life is over. Tell yourself, my plan may have failed, but Allah's guidance has just begun. Place your trust in His compass. Move with patience, walk with hope, and you will discover that where Allah leads you is always better than where you were trying to go. May Allah guide our steps, comfort our hearts, and grant us the strength to trust His wisdom in all that we face. Ameen. When a person sets their heart on a plan, invests effort, time, and emotion into it, the mind automatically begins to believe that this path must succeed. We imagine the outcome, we feel its excitement, and we build expectations around it. But life has a way of reminding us that not everything unfolds the way we picture it. Suddenly, the plan that once felt so certain begins to crumble. The job you were praying for slips away. The marriage proposal that seemed promising falls apart. The business idea that looked perfect brings loss instead of profit. And in those moments, your heart feels heavy, your mind is filled with questions, and your soul begins to wonder why things didn't work out. But this, right here, is where the journey of faith truly begins. A believer understands that life is not just a series of random events. It is a divinely written script, authored by the one whose wisdom has no limits. So when your plans fail, it is never a sign of Allah abandoning you. Instead, it is often the clearest sign of Allah guiding you. It is a reminder that your vision is limited, but His knowledge is infinite. What you see as a setback may be a step forward in disguise. What you experience as failure may actually be protection, mercy, and redirection wrapped in difficulty. Sometimes Allah allows a door to close because He knows you are knocking on the wrong one. Out of His mercy, He saves you from a path that would harm you, even if you believe it would benefit you. There are countless moments in life where you only understand the wisdom after the pain has passed. You look back and say, if that had worked out, my life would have been so different, and not in a good way. At the time you cried. You felt broken, you questioned why the world was moving forward while you stood still, but later you realized Allah was saving you from something your eyes couldn't see. This is why a believer learns to trust the process, even when it is confusing. You begin to understand that Allah doesn't delay without purpose. He doesn't deny without reason, and He doesn't test without preparing you for something greater. When a plan fails, your heart might feel lost, but Allah's compass is already turning you toward something better. You may not feel it immediately, but His guidance is silent, steady, and always precise. Think about your own life for a moment. How many times did you desperately want something that never happened? And how many times did you later say, Alhamdulillah, it didn't? This is the gift of hindsight, a small glimpse of Allah's wisdom. But imagine if you learned to trust that wisdom even without seeing the result. Imagine having the kind of faith where you say, if this is not written for me, then there must be goodness in that. That mindset brings peace. It frees your heart from disappointment. It reminds you that denial from people is not denial from Allah. Closed doors on earth are not closed doors in the heavens. Sometimes Allah places a failure in your path not to break you, but to build you. He knows that your character grows more through struggle than through comfort. He knows that your iman strengthens more through patience than through ease. He knows that your heart becomes purer when it lets go of things that were never meant for it. What you call a setback might actually be spiritual training. What you call a loss might be the foundation of a new blessing. What you call failure might be the moment Allah redirects your life towards something far more meaningful. If everything worked out exactly the way you wanted, would you ever learn humility? Would you ever turn to Allah sincerely? Would you ever grow mentally, emotionally, or spiritually? Probably not. Success teaches you very little. But failure teaches you priceless lessons that shape you into the person Allah wants you to become. This is why hardships often carry hidden gifts, even when you don't recognize them immediately. Remember, the prophets themselves faced moments where their plans didn't align with reality. They experienced rejection, loss, delays, and obstacles. Yet every struggle they faced was a divine redirection that led them closer to their purpose. Their lives teach us that failure in the eyes of the world does not mean failure in the sight of Allah. What matters is not whether your plan succeeded, but whether you walked your journey with faith, patience, and trust. Your life is filled with chapters you haven't read yet. You don't know how your story will unfold, but Allah already does. He knows which people need to leave your life so that growth can enter. He knows which opportunities must fall apart so better ones can rise. He knows which heartbreaks must occur so your heart can awaken to its true direction. Every single event, pleasant or painful, is part of your personalized path toward what is best for you. So when your plans fail, instead of saying, "Why is this happening to me?" try saying, "What is Allah preparing me for?" That shift changes everything. It transforms despair into hope. It turns confusion into calmness. It turns fear into trust. It reminds you that Allah is not taking something away. He is clearing the path for something greater. A believer's job is to keep moving, keep trying, keep praying, and keep trusting. You do your part, and Allah will take care of the unseen. When you lose something you wanted, don't assume your life is going downhill. Sometimes things fall apart so that better things can fall into place. Sometimes Allah removes something from your life to replace it with something far more beautiful. Sometimes He delays what you want because He wants to give you more than you asked for. And sometimes He simply wants your heart back because during ease we forget, but during hardship we remember. And the heart that remembers Allah is never truly lost. When plans fail, remind yourself that Allah's plan never fails. When people walk away, remind yourself that Allah never leaves. When a door closes, remind yourself that Allah owns all doors. And when your heart feels confused, remind yourself that Allah's compass never misguides. When something in your life doesn't go the way you hoped, the immediate feeling is frustration. Your heart becomes unsettled because you had imagined a different outcome. You expected a certain result, you planned for it, you dreamed about it, and you told yourself that this is what your life needs right now. But when it slips away, the mind begins to think that everything is falling apart. Yet in reality, things are falling into place in a way that only Allah understands. A failed plan is not a dead end. It is a sign that Allah is redirecting you toward a better path, even if you cannot see it at that moment. A believer learns that failure is not rejection, it is redirection. When Allah takes something away, He is replacing it with something far more meaningful. When He delays something, He is protecting you from harm you cannot see. When He closes a door, it is because He knows the destination you are heading toward is not the one your soul needs. What you think you want and what Allah knows you need are often two very different things. And if Allah were to give you everything you desire at the wrong time, it could lead you to heartbreak, confusion, and spiritual weakness. So instead of granting your plan, He guides you towards something better. Look back at your life for a moment. How many times did you want something so badly that you cried for it, begged for it, and felt like your life depended on it? Yet later, when it didn't happen, didn't you realize that you were protected? Didn't you see that Allah had something else waiting for you? Something more beautiful, more peaceful, more aligned with your growth. Sometimes Allah saves you from people who would have drained your soul. Sometimes He saves you from jobs that would have destroyed your peace. Sometimes He saves you from paths that would have weakened your faith. These protections come disguised as disappointments, but they are actually hidden blessings. This is why a believer never sees hardship as the end. Instead, they understand that their life operates under divine wisdom. Every disappointment is carrying a message. Every setback is moving you to a new chapter. Every painful moment is clearing space for something better to enter. Allah does not take anything from you unless He intends to give you something superior. The challenge is trusting Him during the transition. In the moment of failure, the heart feels wounded. You might ask, why me? Why now? But what you see as loss, Allah sees as preparation. He is shaping your character, strengthening your patience, and building your resilience. Without these emotional challenges, you would never develop sincerity, humility, or spiritual maturity. If everything came easily, your heart would never learn to depend on Allah. But when things fall apart, you learn that your true anchor is not your job, your plans, your relationships, or your abilities. Your true anchor is Allah. There are moments when life forces you to pause, not because you are stuck, but because Allah is adjusting your direction. Imagine trying to sail a ship while only looking straight ahead. You might miss the storm that lies in front of you. But Allah sees the storm, so He turns your ship before you even realize the danger. You feel frustrated that the direction changed, but if you could see what He sees, you would fall into prostration out of gratitude. People often say, if this didn't happen, I wouldn't be where I am today. That is the beauty of divine planning. Allah writes your story with perfect precision. The failures, the delays, the heartbreaks, the disappointments, they all serve a purpose. They push you, shape you, protect you, and redirect you so that you end up in a place far better than where you intended to go. So, the next time something doesn't go according to your plan, take a deep breath and remind yourself, Allah is not rejecting you. He is redirecting you. Your efforts are not wasted. Your prayers are not ignored. Your tears are not forgotten. Allah is preparing you, step by step, for a chapter of your life that will make sense of everything you are currently facing. Trust that what is leaving your life is not meant for your future. Trust that what is delayed is timed perfectly. Trust that what breaks you today is building you for tomorrow. Allah does not close a door without opening a better one, even if you cannot see it yet. And when that better door opens, you will understand that every moment of disappointment was part of a beautiful plan designed just for you. When you begin to realize that true success comes from trusting Allah more than your own plans, your entire perspective on life changes. You no longer panic when something slips out of your hands, because you know that whatever remains in Allah's hands is far greater than anything you could ever hold onto yourself. You start to understand that the heart finds peace not when life becomes perfect, but when it surrenders to the one who controls all perfection. This is the moment a believer truly begins to live, with a heart grounded in certainty, even when the path ahead is unclear. Human beings naturally want control. We want to plan every detail, predict every outcome, and secure every blessing before it arrives. But life does not operate according to our wishes. It moves according to Allah's wisdom. When you place your trust solely in your effort, your skills, your intelligence, or your connections, you will constantly feel anxious. You will constantly feel disappointed. You will constantly feel like life is slipping away from you. But when you place your trust in Allah, the one who knows what is seen and unseen, your heart begins to rest even before the result arrives. Because your confidence is no longer in the outcome, it is in the one who brings the outcome. True success is not getting everything you want. True success is trusting that Allah never withholds what is meant for you. The moment you believe this, your heart stops chasing after people. It stops seeking validation from the world. It stops fearing loss. Instead, it becomes anchored in Allah. You start walking through life with quiet confidence, knowing that if something is written for you, it will reach you even if the entire world stands against it. And if something is not written for you, it will never come your way, even if the entire world stands behind you. This kind of trust frees you. It gives you emotional independence. You no longer cling to temporary things as if your survival depends on them. You love people, but your heart is not enslaved to them. You work hard, but you know your sustenance comes from Allah, not your job. You make plans, but you also understand that Allah's plan is always superior. Your heart becomes calm because it is no longer tied to the ups and downs of life. It is tied to the one who controls life. When you trust Allah completely, something incredible happens. Your failures no longer define you, your delays no longer break you, and your obstacles no longer scare you. You begin to see life through a different lens. A missed opportunity becomes a form of protection. A delayed blessing becomes a hidden favor. A hardship becomes a source of growth. You start recognizing that nothing in your life is random. Everything, every joy, every pain, every loss, every wish that came true and every wish that didn't, is part of a divine design created specifically for you. And the heart that understands this becomes unstoppable, not because life gets easier, but because your faith gets stronger. When your faith strengthens, your fears weaken. When your trust increases, your anxiety decreases. When your connection with Allah deepens, the noise of the world loses its power. You walk with a kind of peace that others may not understand. You smile even when life is challenging. You remain hopeful even when the situation looks impossible. You keep moving even when you don't know where the road leads, because you know who is guiding you. Think for a moment, how many people appear successful on the outside but are restless inside? How many achieve their dreams yet still feel empty? How many gain what they want but lose their sense of purpose along the way? This is because success without trust in Allah is temporary. It may bring excitement, but it does not bring peace. It may fill your hands, but it does not fill your heart. Real success is not having more. It is being more patient, being more trusting, being more content, being more connected to Allah. When you learn to trust Allah more than your plans, you gain a strength that no loss can break. Life will still test you, but the tests will not destroy you. You will still face disappointments, but they will not crush your spirit. You will still experience moments of confusion, but they will not shake your faith. Because you know, deep inside, that Allah is guiding your steps with precision, mercy, and wisdom. And when Allah guides you, nothing is ever truly lost. Every detour has meaning. Every delay has purpose. Every heartbreak has healing behind it. Every failed plan has a better replacement. You may not understand it now, but one day you will look back and realize that Allah's plan was not just better, it was perfect. So walk through life with your heart open, your efforts sincere, and your trust anchored firmly in Allah. Don't cling to what is leaving, trust the one who is leading. Don't fear the unknown, trust the one who already knows. Don't worry about losing your way, trust the one whose guidance never fails. Because when you trust Allah more than your desires, more than your fears, and more than your plans, then, and only then, do you experience true success. A success that brings peace to your heart, clarity to your mind, strength to your soul, and blessings to your life in ways you never imagined.